Pisces here. Get ready to flow. Let's dive deep with Pisces Tarot. Your business is my business. I see every ache, every kiss, the push, the pull, the silent cries. I'm exposing all the lies, revealing the hidden truth. With me, you have the proof. Your business is my business. True. Welcome to Pisces Tarot. True.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pisces Tarot, everybody. I am your host. I am Mimi Lightseer, and today you are tuned into my segment of Relationship Reality. This is a live, interactive space created to inform and empower. Over here, truth is revealed, illusions are brought to the light, and you are supported in making conscious choices and decisions as you gain insight into the real dynamics between you and your person. Through the art of storytelling, I will be drawing on intuitive, psychic, and tarot card readings to give you insight that explores the energy shaping the connection between you and your person. Whether you are navigating love, questioning intentions, or standing at the crossroads, this space is designed to bring you clarity, give you content, and direction that you can use, okay? So, at the end of the day, this is a collective reading, okay? Your relationship can be currently going on, or this could be a past situation or whatnot, okay? This situation could be unfolding right before your eyes, okay? So, with that being said, let's set the tone. Welcome. Hello to all of my guppies. Much love to all of my returning people over here. We about to get into this thing, okay? So, if y'all ready to get into it, I want you to put some stars in the chat. Put some stars in the chat, because, child, it's time for us to get into this thing. Here we go. Now, before we dive in, it's imperative that we level set and ground our energy. Grounding keeps us present and protected. As you cleanse your energy field, we create the clarity that allows spirit to come through. It's not so much of what I say, it's also about your discernment and understanding what applies to you and what does not apply to you, okay? So we're going to start this by taking in 3 deep breaths. We're going to hold it for 4 seconds and release. I will guide you through this as a guided meditation, so make sure that you are inhaling and exhaling accordingly, and we will move forward accordingly. All right. So happy birthday to all my beautiful Aquarius, everybody, because it is Aquarius season. We had a lot of Aquarius energy out there going on. So if you will, let's go ahead and get ready for this breath work. We're going to inhale light and clarity and exhale doubt and distractions. All right, here we go. Next, we're going to inhale joy and freedom and exhale sadness and captivity. And lastly, we are going to inhale truth and wisdom and exhale deception and fear. Oh, I love it. Listen, if you are ready to get into this reading and you feel lighter already, drop the emoji in the chat that best reflects how you are feeling, because it is time for us to get into this reading, y'all. Now, as a gentle reminder, this is a sacred space and it can get kind of spicy. Just know, when spirit comes for your edges, you are not alone. Let me tell you something, y'all. We have all been a fool in love before, and today just may be your turn. Ain't nobody judging you, boo. We are grown folk over here at Auntie Mimi's table, couch, whatever you want to call it. This is what we doing today, all right? We're just having an honest conversation and letting the truth be told for what it is. So if you're ready to see what Spirit's about to cook up for you, I want you to put the cooking emojis in the chat, because baby, it is time for us to get into it. And I promise you, I will not disappoint. Here we go. Now, before I jump into any session, I always take a minute to sit down with spirit and to see what is coming through. And sometimes that message is coming from a dream, a vision, a message, or even a song that is stuck in my head. And today, y'all, listen to this. I was literally over here minding my business, working, doing my normal 9-to-5 responsibility and job, typing an email. And all of a sudden, y'all, I started to hear Keith Sweat singing in my ear, "You can have a piece of my love, is waiting for you." I said, what in the hogwash time, Dick and Sam, is going on today? I literally was like, where did that come from? And so I tried to ignore it because I was just like, that's weird. Like, where did that come from? But then I heard it kept going over and over again. And then it went on, "Please hush, no questions asked."
Suspicious. That's weird.
Y'all, I'm sitting over here like, this sounds like Sexual Chocolate, everybody, from Coming to America. So I said, we are going to investigate this because I really want to know more information. I want to know who is over here dealing with a piece of somebody's love. Okay, that's Aaron Hall. Thank you. I keep calling him Keith Sweat because he reminds me of Keith Sweat, but it is Aaron Hall, and I keep on saying that. So thank you so much for letting me know, Yolanda. But for those of you who may not have been around in 1988, the group was Guy. The song was Teddy Riley. He wrote the song, and the song is "A Piece of My Love." Okay, so the song goes a little something like this: "You can have a piece of my love. It's waiting for you. Girl, it's true. You can have a piece of my love." Okay? And I said to myself, what is a piece of somebody's love? So I said, you know what? We're going to get into this today because I want to know who is over here settling for pieces. And it's nothing wrong if you're in a physical space emotionally where you don't have the bandwidth to give more than that. But we're going to dig into that and figure out what in the world is going on with this because I want to know who is okay with this. At today's age, who is okay with this? So if you know what I'm talking about, drop an emoji in the chat to represent how you feel because I want to look into this and find out what is going on here. All right, so here we go. Now, let's check the undercurrent because I want to know more about this specific situation. And we do that by looking to see what is going on. So thank you, Spirit. We thank you for clear and precise messages for the people who are here currently and for the people who will be here in the future. Thank you, Amen and I say, for giving us these messages. What is the undercurrent for this issue today? What is going on in this particular situation? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, 2 cards came out, but I'm only take one. So I'm going to take the first one that fell out at the bottom, which is Endless Possibilities. Okay, so as you look at this card, you see a girl. This is reflecting someone who is in their head. Okay, this is reflecting the thoughts, okay? The thoughts of a person as they are possibly praying, thinking, meditating, reflecting. This is about spirituality. This is about possibly overthinking. When you think about endless possibilities, okay? Maybe a lot of daydreaming, a lot of running of the mind of the thoughts, okay? It's a lot of that going on. So what I'm picking up on with this particular situation, there may have been some instances where 1 or 2 people, I'm going to say feminine energy the most because there's a woman on this card, right? But I'm going to say where someone has been hyper sensationalizing possibly the connection with someone specifically and run it off. You know how sometimes when you meet somebody And the connection is what it is. It's so nice. It's so enduring. Like it's just, y'all know what it's like when you meet somebody and the connection is just so magnificent that you kind of like floating on cloud nine. If you ever been in Delulu land when you met somebody, just put a cloud in the chat. But you know how it is when you sometimes meet people and you just start planning your future. Like your mind starts running off into these spaces where you can I swear I don't understand why people do this, but okay. But anyway, the mind is running off, okay? So what I'm saying is that what I'm picking up on is someone was hyper sensationalizing their opinions, like running off with thoughts and feelings about people, running off and planning the future with somebody that wasn't really particularly offering that to them. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I can't really explain it. I could only explain it for how I feel it because it's my encounter. But you know how when I'm stuttering now because I'm trying to convey it. When you meet someone and they just seem to exceed all of your expectations and you start planning the future, you start running off with it. Okay, thinking about all the endless possibilities, trying to manifest, hoping and praying, being cautious, but being optimistic about the connection. That's what I'm picking up on with that particular card, okay? Now, and I'm going to say it was possibly a female or feminine energy because there is a woman on this. But being all in your head, okay? Being all in your head. And possibly also taking advantage of knowing astrological things, thinking about stars and whatnot. And I'm saying that as well because we also have the stars here, okay? So you possibly looked at this connection like, oh, we're compatible, we're this, we're that. And yeah, that's what I'm picking up on. Now, when it comes to the truth that you need to know right now for your journey, here we go. Humor, okay? I choose to focus on the lighter side of life, okay? So remember when I said earlier that when you met this person and this connection, everything just came together and you just started running off in the wind with, you know, the endless possibilities. There may have been a lot of laughter, a lot of humor, a lot of flirtatious activity going on, things that would further cause you to be able to run off in your mind like, oh my God, I think I found the one. You know, he's so this or she's so that. It's that type of energy, like that youthful optimism of getting to know someone and how do you proceed to move forward with that connection. Now, what is the truth that we need to hear? I'm sorry, guides of the hidden realms. Guides of the hidden realms. What is going on, guides of the hidden realms? What messages do you have for us? Okay. Begin with faith in spring. Okay, this is about, see, I told y'all, beginnings, innocence, fertility, and growth. Now, I just literally said it's like that youthful thing, that youthful type of feeling. And here we have it here on the card. This is about brand new beginnings. This is about innocence. When you typically meet someone in the beginning, the relationship is very innocent. You're very fond of one another. You are very admirable of this person or in awe of this person. Things are very progressive because it's still new. It's the newness, right, of things. It's the honeymoon phase. That's what we're dealing with here. Begin with faith in spring. So you possibly have met this person in the spring or you will meet this person in the spring, but there is something positive coming in the spring when it comes to this particular connection. Now, how is it showing up for you in your everyday life is the question. This is definitely dealing with the heart chakra with the color green. Last night we spoke in depth about the color green and what that has to do with the heart space. So this is definitely a heart, like pulling on the heartstrings. Like I said, things that make you in awe, things that make you excited about a connection. That's definitely what is here. Community, okay? You may have met this person through a friend, okay, at a celebratory event of some sort, but we definitely have community here. And I think that that's what also brings this. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit says you likely have met this person through somebody where they have had their eyes on you for quite some time, and or you have had your eyes on them. But this is definitely like a celebratory event amongst the friends, amongst the community, I'm going to say at large, but more specifically a friendship group, okay? Now, what is the sign that this message is for the people who are here? What is the sign? Smiley faces. Okay, so if you're seeing a lot of smiley faces or the color yellow right now, this is about your joy. Okay, if you're seeing a whole lot of smiley faces and or the color yellow, this is about your joy. Okay, so this is again something that makes you very, very happy, very, very exciting, very much so looking forward to this connection and going to the next level. But there is something that is still missing here, but I'm getting the impression you don't see it right just yet. Ooh, I just gotta chill. There's something about this connection that somebody's not privy to right now. I don't know, y'all. If y'all ready to get into this reading to dig deeper, I want y'all to put the teacups in the chat. Put your teacups in the chat, because this feel like this about to be some strong tea coming in right here, because I just got a full cold chill, and it's like my mood internally just changed. I'm ready to go. Put those tea kettles in the chat. Let's go. Now, I'm going to conduct a discovery to uncover some things, some issues that may be occurring between you and your person. Now, for those of you who may be new to the PiSeas Tarot experience, I'm going to pull a plethora of cards, okay? I'm just going to pull cards, and then I will reorganize these cards based on how I feel person A may be feeling and how person B may be feeling. So it may be a little confusing for you. I promise you I'm going somewhere, okay? I promise you. So the first insight that we have here is going to be what? First insight, Spirit. Well, that came flying out. Communication, compromise, forgive, working it out. Okay, so there is a conversation that's going to be had. And remember that I told you in the beginning monologue that I was hearing the piece of my love, okay? So there is some type of compromise that is coming here at play that is going to be offering to you that may be less than. Maybe that's also why I gotta chill. But there's a conversation that will be had, and you guys will try to work through whatever obstacles it is that we need to work through at this time. Now, what is the T? What is the T? What is the T? Well, that was quick. So we have theft, okay, or thief, robbery, loss, theft, or physical emotion. So somebody's feeling robbed in this, okay, which is very interesting because this card literally fell out yesterday as well. But someone is feeling, and if you look at this man's face, y'all, look at this man's face. You could tell he's leaning in, sweet talking her, right? So remember I told you it's about the warm and fuzzies of the newness, the innocence of meeting someone and getting to know someone. And you look at her face, she's over here looking like, You see what I'm saying? So we have robbery. Somebody feels robbed. Someone feels lost, theft, physical or emotional distance in this connection. Now, what is going on here? Boy, I promise y'all, these cards is flying out tonight. This is interesting. So we have here obsession. Listen, snack, obsession, physical attraction, sex appeal. Okay, so remember how I talked about that newness, that feeling, that vibe, that innocence that come, that smittenness. That's the word I was looking for. You know how in the honeymoon phase, everybody's all smitten. Y'all can't keep y'all hands off each other, especially if y'all cross that bridge. Y'all can't stop kissing. You know, it's all the warm and fuzzies of liking someone, right? In that innocence. I don't know how old you are, but I'm in my 40s. And as I'm thinking about this, I am going back to middle school love, right? When you had your first crush and how y'all used to pull each other's hair and smack each other on the booty and run around the yard and write each other love letters. And y'all remember how we used to play those little paper games, those little things where you open it up and then you put a number and all that stuff like that. It's the joyfulness of love, like that innocence that comes with first meeting someone and getting to know someone. That is what I am picking up on right now when it comes to this, okay? And there's a strong physical attraction, which is possibly why I'm hearing this song in my ear talking about giving you a piece of their love. Now, when we look into the broken mirror, what do we see? Childish, immature, argumentative, playing the victim. Okay, so somebody in this connection is being real childish, immature, always playing the victim. Okay, I'm not surprised by that because I keep stressing the fact that there is an innocence here. There is a juvenile-like energy here. What lies beneath this? Remember, I also told you with this humor card, I definitely feel like there's a lot of humor here. Okay, there's a lot. I'm trying to explain this feeling as best as I can because I haven't felt this way in a long time. I can't tell you when the last time somebody had me wide open like that. If you felt like this about somebody recently, write down in the chat like how smitten you were. I'm just curious. All right, 2 cards just flew out. We got putting on a show. Okay, so somebody may be here really full of malarkey. The other card that fell out here is also bad choices. Okay, so somebody is really making a bad choice, and somebody else is putting on a show. Okay, now what is the true emotion here? What is the true emotion here? Okay, somebody wants their way. They're selfish, they're stubborn, they're arrogant, they're full of pride and ego. Okay, so ego may be here. Somebody used to having their way. Okay, not willing to change. Okay, full of themselves. And I hate to say this, y'all, but y'all know just like I know, some people never outgrow that high school mentality of being the popular kid or being the man on the street. Like they still act like everybody's supposed to bow down to them. Everybody's supposed to be smitten over them, you know, just all of the things. And I'm really picking up that this person has some type of complex with that. I don't know what that will be called, but I keep going back to hearing the words juvenile. Like I hear a lot of juvenile things coming up. So I don't know if it's their mindset that's juvenile, aside from how they're making you feel. There's a lot of young energy here, and the childish card did come up. So they may be physically or emotionally immature, but very handsome, very attractive, all the feels, talks all the crap. Thank you so much for my gift, Nemo. I hope I said that right. But this person just talks a lot of skit. Are you crazy? Now, what is the yin and the yang? I done dropped all the cards out. What is the yin and the yang, spirit? What is the yin and the yang? this person feels like they still may be very, very popular. I don't know why I'm getting this impression like this is a person who may be still stuck like in that young mindset of being popular, and they may still be popular. I don't know if y'all know a whole lot of adults that are very popular, but this person has a very much so of a presence of some sort, and they thrive in that environment. Like phone always ringing, somebody always inviting them to something. They got to be seen all the time. They have a strong social presence. Okay, now what is the yin and the yang here? Distance, timeout, retreat, blocked, emotional or physical distance. Okay, so it's interesting that this card has come up because I just spoke briefly about when people are a little emotionally immature, that can cause a barrier or a resistance, and where there is a distance between you and this other person because emotionally you guys are on two different pages. But it feels like there is still, thank you, Spirit. Earlier in the beginning of this reading, in my monologue, I mentioned that there's something about this person that you don't know. So there's something starting to come out into fruition about this person's emotional incapacity to be able to show up and to give you the things that you want for. So what I'm picking up on now is that Spirit is showing me that you've moved from the initial warm and fuzzies. You've moved away from the initial feelings of, oh, I'm running off with my thoughts. I want to be with this person. I know this is my person. And now it's time to get serious. And what I'm picking up on is now that it's time to graduate from this and go to this. This person is stuttering. They're kind of like stalling you out, avoiding a lot of things, refusing to be serious about the conversations at hand. And they could be possibly just telling you, you know, listen, I like you a lot, but I'm not in a mental space to give you more than a piece of my love. There it is. Okay. I don't know who this is for, but that's what's coming across. What is blocking this relationship from thriving? What is blocking from this relationship from thriving? Y'all, these cards, I tell you, are falling out, but this was way too many. But I will show you. I'm not going to keep this card. The Getting Hurt card just came out. Okay. It fell out with these other cards. All love sometimes comes with the risk of losing it. Don't be afraid to floss and take a chance. Okay. So unsocial. You need to get out and mingle with more people so that you can meet someone. So again, you or your person probably were antisocial prior to now. Remember I said earlier that it feels like you possibly met this person through a group of people in your community. Okay. So if you were antisocial prior to now, you probably went to a place or so with a friend and probably met this person, or someone introduced you to this person. I'm not sure. Okay. Yolanda, you said I'm cooking. Listen, you know, sometimes when I do these readings, I be trying to like really figure out like how to really convey what I'm seeing. And sometimes I fall short. So I do apologize if it seems like I can't get it out because I'm trying to put my finger on it. All right. Is it love in this relationship or no? See, I told you, somebody is highly attracted to this person. You are incredibly alluring to me. So someone is attracted. Okay. Someone is heavily attracted to this person with this rose. That is the highest volume of love in this particular card deck. Okay. So now it's time for us to take these and to go back and to look at it. Who is person A? Person A, you may have been antisocial coming into this connection. You finally started getting out, mingling and meeting people, and possibly have met this person through some friends or some type of social group in your community. You may be biking, cycling, working out, walking, because I got an image of being outside in the park. So you may have some type of outdoor hobbies in which you would have met this person out in the community, but it feels like a social setting where there's a group of people who are not related, just friends who hang out, and there was an exchange, there was an encounter between you and this particular person outside in some type of outside setting, but it was an informal setting. So the intention was not to go out and to meet someone. The intention was to socialize, and you just so happen to have met this person. Anyway, with that being said, there was definitely some type of attraction here. Okay. This person, what you thought they was a snack and then some, like, baby, this person had you open. Do you hear me? Child, they had you open. All right. And I do believe that now that you've been in this situation for quite some time, I think you are coming to the realization that you may have made a bad choice with this investment. Because you've been open and willing to do this with this person, and now they're pulling back. And this is where this conversation is coming up. Okay. So this could be coming up in the spring. All right. Now, as for person B, okay, they are very selfish, stubborn, arrogant, and full of pride and ego. Okay. It's all about them and what they want to do. They are very childish, immature, argumentative, always playing the victim. You could say the smallest thing to them and they take it and blow it out of proportion. They are always putting on a show of some sort. They're always trying to act one way, but then when it comes down to doing something else, they're not doing it. Like, it's like they talk the talk, but they scared to walk. You understand? I keep getting this infancy, like, and it does feel like they've never been here before. Honestly, we also, actually, I'm gonna swap this around because I do feel like person A feels like they've been tricked more so than person B. And then also I do feel like the lack of their forthcoming about their true intentions and motives with their agendas, their lack thereof is going to facilitate this conversation. Okay. So now the question then becomes, whose business are we about to get into, y'all? Because I want to know if sorry, y'all, my dog barked. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. It's the mailman. Hold on. Okay, thank you for your patience. So if y'all are ready to get into this reading, go ahead and put your drums in the chat, drums in the chat, drums in the chat, because I want to know whose business we finna get into. Now here she come over here. As we deal with the woes of being in the daytime and my dog being active, we're going to try to override this, so I do apologize if I go on mute. But person A just came flying out. Person A is a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you or your person is a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, put the planet, the earth signs in the chat. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you're coming in as the 7 of Pentacles today. This is long-term view. Remember I told you, running off in your mind, running off in your head, thinking about fairy god land and all the things in between. So that long-term view is coming up here with this 7 of Pentacles. This is about you putting in the work, having perseverance, doing your due diligence, being sustainable, looking for results, and being invested in your connection with this other person. Okay, this is literally a summation of everything that I was just saying with you. Now, if y'all ready to see who is person B, go ahead and put your drums back in the chat, because here we go. Person B is coming in as the fire sign. Stella, shut up. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If you or your person is either a fire sign or a earth sign, go ahead and put those elements in the chat. My fire signs are coming in today as the Wheel of Fortune. This represents good luck, karma, cycles, destiny. I want to put an emphasis on cycles, destiny, turning points, change, inevitable fate, ups and downs, and unpredictable. So where I'm gathering with this is that there was something, like I said, there was something that was unseen to you, person A, that is now made available to you, person A. So if y'all ready to get into this reading, child, I wants to know more about this, because baby, now that we know who we talking about, we over here cooking with the planets, with the earth and the fire signs. Let's go ahead and jump into this reading, shall we? Here we go. Now, as I confirm what Spirit has previously shared with me and integrate it not only with what I picked up with the psychic and intuitive part of the reading, I will now integrate our tarot card readings into this to formalize the story, okay? Now that we have identified the foundational energy with this, let's go ahead and see what the current energy is for here. And remember, I do my readings for Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. So just because I didn't necessarily call out your sun sign doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not talking about you, because we need to find out what all the planets are, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into this thing. What is the present energy of this earth sign? What is the present energy of this earth sign? Also, one of you in this connection may also have chronic foot pain. I'm having like a foot spasm, like in my left foot. So there may be something going on with this person's left foot, either you or theirs. All right. Present energy for person A. Earth signs, you're coming through with the 5 of Cups right now, okay? What that's telling me right now is that Earth signs, you are really disappointed right now, okay? So remember earlier in the opening monologue, we talked about there being a distance here, okay? There was some type of retreat, blockage of physical or emotional distance due to a lack of something, okay? So what I'm picking up on with this particular card is that you have been disappointed by something that didn't occur. You may have been putting, like I said, running off in your mind, you know, planning a wedding when y'all not even in a relationship. Y'all know how we do. We get extra and we hyper sensationalize and we just run off with things, right? Well, person A has taken a moment to sit back and reflect, and it's like you're waiting for any moment now for this particular person to materialize, show up, and to apologize. And you have been waiting for this, but this person has not come forward at all.
Get it on.
You have been you know what, this makes sense why I talk about somebody being in their head, because earth signs can very much so be off in their head and run off with their thoughts. So with this 5 of Cups, it does feel like there's like a disappointment here, and like you're waiting for this person to come back around and address the elephant in the room, which is the communication piece that we've been talking about. However, they haven't done this in a quick way at all. And so where some of that disappointment has come from is the fact that they have taken their sweet and precious time. I don't know right now how long it's been, but I will tell you that you have been waiting for quite some time for this person to actually course correct this situation and make this right. And I feel like I don't feel like there was an argument or anything like that, but what I do feel is like they just pulled back their energy without explanation, okay? Like they just got weird on you, and it was like, okay, where did that come from? All right. So you have been patiently waiting for them to come back and to correct this issue, honestly.
2,000 years later.
Now, for my fire signs, what is the fire signs' present energy? Sorry about that. 2 cards just went flying on the floor. All right. What is my fire signs' present energy? All right, fire signs, you're coming in today as the 9 of Cups in reverse, okay? This is telling me that you, fire signs are equally as disappointed. Okay, they feel like they fumbled. And I mean, you did. You absolutely did.
Oh, now we're in trouble.
My fire signs feel like they had some type of alternate plan. Again, there was something about this person, earth sign, that you did not know. You were not privy to something. There was something exposed and revealed to you that you wouldn't have otherwise have known, okay? So whatever their plans were in their mind, or whatever they were working on in the background that you were not made aware of, it did not come into fruition like they thought it would, okay? They have been in their own head about their own thing. They're waddling in their own disappointment. I don't know what for sure the disappointment was. I don't know if the disappointment was they felt like they was going to be able to run game on you, not be able to breadcrumb, drag you along, you know, just not have to commit. You know, we live in a season of situationships, right? And I don't know about you, but I've come across a lot of people who are anti-committal, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because this person's energy definitely feels very much so anti-committal, okay? It feels like they know that they owe you more. They're not offering you more. It feels like they've been sitting around playing games. And the fact that they couldn't do that is what is disappointing them, okay? They really thought that they could avoid having to commit. They thought that they could basically get the milk without buying the cow. All right. And you came to the table like, absolutely not. That's what we're not about to do. And they probably looked at you like you was crazy, because you was like, I'm sorry, you want me to do what?
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who is saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
So you probably are a little curious, earth signs, as to like, where did they get this impression that you were the type of person? Okay, remember I told you this feels very much so like feminine energy. So you probably are sitting around like, well, when did I ever give you the clue that I was the type of girl that I wouldn't want a full long-term commitment? Okay, when did I ever give you the inclination that I will be okay with just being in this loose end situation, right? So that may have possibly, again, been the indicator for them to pull their energy back. Again, I don't feel like this has been like an argument of some sort. It was just like possibly like a slight misunderstanding where they started to retreat, and so did you. Okay. Now, what are the current emotions? Y'all see how these cards are flying out everywhere today? That was the Justice card fell out. But it went on the floor. What are the current emotions that is dominating my earth signs energy at this present moment? The Two of Wands, okay? Earth signs, you have to make a decision right now, okay? The decision is whether or not you should or should not continue to entertain this, okay? And the reason why I'm saying you're at a crossroads, right? It's like, okay, I like my energy with this person. I like spending time with this person. Can y'all hold on just a second, please? Never mind. It's like I like my energy with this person. I like the way this person makes me feel, but I don't like the fact that this person is not coming to the table with the offering of some sort. So this has really blown your mind, earth signs. I'm not going to lie to you, because you can't conceptualize or justify why the relationship is so vibrant and so promising, but then they don't want to deliver. They don't want the commitment. Like, you can't wrap your mind around that. Now, what is some emotions that is currently impacting this fire sign? Y'all, these cards, y'all see how these cards, y'all can't see it. These cards are flying out everywhere. Y'all can't see it either. Okay, fire signs. Their current energy is coming in right now as the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Y'all, I can't make this up. Okay, I told you, they're upset and disappointed that their plans of playing games and toying with you is not coming to fruition. So this is where they started to backpedal. Okay, they got scared. They said they don't want to have to commit. They don't want to have to be in something. They feel like what you're, hold on y'all for just a minute. I'm so sorry. Sorry, y'all. My son is doing the most right now in the background and it's distracting. Okay. So anyway, going back to what I was saying about this person here, when they realized that they could not play you, that they couldn't run game, that you was not going to be the girl or the guy, that was going to sit back and just allow them to toy with. Like, you're coming to the table, you're like, no. If we're dating and going on dates and we're building something, then it needs to become something material. I'm not the type of person that's going to sit up here and just let you parade me around town and dip your stick in my honey pot, if you can catch my drift, and think that nothing's going to be asked of you. Like, no, if you want something of me, it's going to require an investment for you. And that goes back to this foundational energy that came up here in the earth signs foundational energy.
Oh, now we're in trouble.
So the question then becomes, what feelings are you earth signs either acknowledging or suppressing? So what feelings is this earth sign either acknowledging or suppressing? We got the 9 of Wands in reverse, okay? This earth sign is feeling really defeated right now in what's going on with this connection. So this goes back to that energy of you feel very disappointed. You are honest to God waiting for this person to come to their senses, okay? And while you're waiting to make this decision, whether or not you're going to continue to move forward, this has really worn you down. Okay, this is like, you know what? I wasn't expecting for this to be this difficult. I wasn't expecting for this to be so compound complex. I thought we were mature enough to have a conversation like adults and make a realistic common ground of what we want for one another in this situation. And when you approach this fire sign to try to get that clarity, again, it was not hostile. It was not volatile. It was a passive comment that just came up in a conversation. And once that conversation was had, their little ears went up like, huh? What
do you mean by that?
I don't necessarily know if I'm ready for what they're wanting. Okay. But they enjoy you. They like you. They're just being arrogant and selfish. You know, they're being immature. They want their way. And, you know, they don't want to have to be responsible. That's what it is. They want the perks of dating you, being with you, but they don't want to be responsible for you. They don't want to be responsible for your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. They feel like that's where the pressure is coming from. It's not from you wanting clarity. It's not from you putting down boundaries and saying, you know, I'm just not that type of girl or guy. But remember, I told you this is feminine energy. So it's like, I'm not that type of person to just sit around and do this. Like, I do have values. I do have morals. I do have beliefs. And that is kind of like riveting to them because they're not used to that. They are so accustomed to having their way and being able to date whomever they want to date. And they've gotten away with not offering anything. They've gotten away with being able to entertain people with minimum breadcrumbs. They've gotten away with promising that the one days and the one days and the one days, and then the one day never comes because they keep kicking the one day down the road. Okay, you came to the table and you said, listen, this is what we're not gonna do. So if you think this is what it is, I'm gonna tell you what it ain't, because this ain't that type of party.
Excuse you.
Now, what is favorable? Oh, wait, I missed something. Sorry. What is the feelings that this fire sign is either acknowledging or suppressing? They got the Page of Swords. Okay? Baby, when I tell you they have been holding on, trying to deliver. Girl, I'm trying to tell you. They have been holding on, trying to avoid. When I tell you this person is coming through as being very immature, but they are also coming through with a curiosity of like what it is about you that is making them want to change their mind. Okay? They probably wouldn't entertain this conversation with anybody else, but there is something about you that leaves them intrigued, even though they're mad that they can't have their way, even though they want to backpedal and take back their offer and they've been acting funny, don't want to answer the phone, don't want to respond to your text. Good, don't chase them. Let them come back to you. But they're also sitting here looking like, well, why she ain't chasing me?
Hold up.
You see what I'm saying? This goes back to that energy of I'm the man on these streets. That juvenile, immature, high school-like behavior. They are so used to people running after them, chasing them down. And they know good and doggone well they are the corporate of why y'all not talking. But they're trying to flip it and play like the victim and act like they owe you something. No, I said it backwards. You owe them something when you don't owe them anything. They're the ones that need to go and check themselves and come back correctly. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, it's a very immature energy here, but they are very much so curious. Like, okay, so what is it about this particular person that I can't make them come chase me? You understand? Like, it's like they live in this juvenile energy of chase me, but I'm not going to chase you. Ugh. Like, y'all low key already know how I feel about fire signs, especially Aries. If this person is an Aries, I'm gonna keep that to myself because I don't want to be biased, but I'm just saying. Now, what is favorable about this situation? We got the 9 of Wands, okay? This goes back to the boundaries that we just talked about. What is most favorable about this situation, Earth signs, is that you are setting your ground. You like, listen here, mofo, okay? Again, what you're not about to do is sit up here and play in my face. You're not about to play on my phone. You're not about to waste my time. You're not going to get the best of me and think that you're going to drag this out until I'm 89. And then, y'all, I wish I could find that thing. It's been 84 years. What she say? It's been 84 long years. You know what I'm talking about in Titanic. But that's what I just got to me. Like, it's like you're sitting around here wasting all of my good and precious time, and then you think I'm supposed to want to be here and stay around in this? Like, what do you mean, sir? Like, that's not how that works, okay? So be proud of yourself, Earth signs, that you are standing your ground. You are not going to let somebody sit up here and play these games with you. You are going to be like, listen, I can do bad all by myself, and I don't need you to do any of that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm grown. I've been spending time by myself all this time. Yes, I find you attractive. Yes, you make me smile. You make me feel things that I have not felt in a very long time. But I will not do that at my expense. You understand where I'm going with this? I don't know if I'm making sense. Y'all tell me in the chat if I'm making sense. Because that's how it feels, okay? Now, what is controversial about this? Thank you, sweetheart. She says you are. What is controversial about this? We got the 6 of Cups, okay? This goes back to that juvenile-like energy, okay? When you guys both sit back and reflect on this connection, it definitely feels good, okay? It's like, it's confusing. It is very confusing energy, okay? Because it's like, if you guys can get past this hurdle of being misaligned, things will go really, really well for you. But right now, it's like you're at this stumbling block because this mofo can't grow up and just say, you know, and you would possibly be very fine if they would admit that they're just not in the emotional space right now. They don't have the bandwidth to support that. I think that we all are living in such a chaotic and crazy time that we could understand if somebody doesn't have the emotional bandwidth to pursue a relationship. While that is disappointing, We understand that we are adults. Most people at today's age, again, I don't know how old you are. We all got jobs. We all got children. Most of us have children. We have obligations. We have parents that are sickly or aging that we have. I mean, it's just a lot of things. So it's like, you know, I can understand if you say, I don't have the emotional bandwidth now to be able to entertain a relationship. That would be understood. Okay. But you ask them, so like, what does our next steps look like? And then they over here like, you know, that's a good question. And it's like, what are we talking about here? You know, like, are you serious right now? So the positive in this is that you're being firm. The negative in this is like, you know what? When I think about it, it really makes me feel good. Like, I really enjoy this person's energy. That's why I'm saying to you that even if they weren't able to deliver what you're expecting, if they would so much as communicate that. And again, that goes back to the compromise. Okay? Compromise, forgive, work it out, but you got to communicate. Okay? All you got to do is say what it is and what it ain't. And therefore, there won't be no misunderstandings because what's understood don't have to be explained. But because you ain't saying nothing, what are we supposed to do with this conversation at this point? Like, what are we really talking about here? Okay? Now, if you've been in this cycle before, well, you have experienced people. Listen, Lord knows I have, okay? So I have empathy for anybody who finds himself in this situation. But if you are finding yourself in a situation, do you feel like this is a cycle that you keep on repeating, or is this something new that you've never experienced before and this is kind of like throwing you for a loop? I want you to write that down in the chat. Let me know. Like, are you used to being in these situations? Do you feel like this is something that plagues you and follows you everywhere you go? Or do you feel like this is something that is new to you? Sweetheart says new. And you're just like, what is this? All right. Now, when we look at the soul lesson, okay, the soul. I told y'all these cards are flying out. Okay. Yeah, everybody's saying they're new to this. Okay. We got the Justice card in reverse. All right. What is the soul lesson in this? Okay. The soul lesson in this and what you need to learn, or what is this trying to teach you, is that I just got that cold chill again. How do I say this? I know a lot of times when I do my lives and I do these readings, I talk to you guys from a place of learning and wisdom and offer just that in addition to the other benefits that you get from being here, right? But what I'm also going to tell you is what this is trying to teach you is that people have the right to choose how they want to govern a relationship, because it is truly, in fact, their relationship too.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Now, while that may be unfair, while you may feel like somebody has wasted your time, while you may feel like, you know, all the negative feelings, listen, you are allowed to feel the way that you feel about it because you have a right to feel that way. And your feelings are valid. They're real and they should be acknowledged, right? I'm not telling you to ignore your feelings to make excuses for somebody else's inability, okay? But what I am teaching you is that it's okay for people to feel the way that they feel because it's their relationship in their life. And that's what makes relationships so freaking hard, is because what works, like my daddy always tell me this, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Okay. So my point in that is everybody has a stake in this. Okay. And if they should decide that they don't want nothing serious, while that stinks, you have to give them space to do whatever they want to do, because asking and forcing them to do something is contrary to that is beyond the pale for them. You're asking for them to be someone that they're not willing to be and cannot be, right? And so this is what creates relational frustration, because what you're looking for is going to always fall short with your expectations of what they're able to give. They're going to continue to give you not enough of what you're looking for and too much of what you don't want. Okay? And this is possibly why this person is saying, I like you, but I can only give you a piece of my love. Okay?
What the hell,
my God, no way.
So that may be a little bit disappointing and off-putting to you because, you know, it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I finally get out the house, I finally go and meet somebody, and then here we come, and, you know, we kicking it, we doing what we do. You know, I like them, they like me, you know, we're being progressive, and then all of a sudden we hit this stumbling block. And it's confusing, okay? It is very confusing. But what Spirit is teaching you in this is that that's okay. Relationships are impermanent. People are impermanent. I know we don't want to ever, you know, accept that because of course we all want to come in and win and find somebody and it just takes off and it is what it is and we're just happy. But the reality is it could be even in a platonic situation, right? Where you can be in a friendship with somebody and you think somebody's your best friend, but they don't think that about you.
What?
So these are commonplace misconceptions, but this is also why it's important to be able to check in and have those temperature checks and have those real honest conversations about where you are, not only in your friendships, but in your relationships too. So Spirit is trying to teach you that, you know, while this may be unfair, while this may be uncomfortable, that's their choice. And we have to respect their choice. It is what it is. Now, what is it that you need to do to heal? Oh, okay. We got the Tower card in reverse. All right. So what Spirit is saying with this particular card is that you can try to prolong it. You can try to act like it's not a real thing. But the more you try to act like this, I keep calling it a barrier. Okay. You can resist it all day. But until you come to the realization that, you know, you can't force somebody to choose you when their answer is no. Okay, does that make sense? You can't make somebody change their mind. You just can't. So even though nobody wants to admit, you know, that things may not be flowing where they should be, you know, you can't prolong that. You can't stop that. You understand? It's awkward as all get out because it's like, okay, well, if I'm not willing to give you this and you're not willing to settle for that, then where do we go from here? And it just becomes very awkward. You understand? So it's like you trying to prolong and put this off. It's not going to change anything because now you're being obligated to a situation that's never going to materialize into the vision that you have in your head all along. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. And every time I say this, I get a lot of flack for this. Okay? I get a lot of heat. But hear me out. Nobody wants anybody to be with them out of obligation. Okay? Nobody should ever want anybody to want to be with you because they feel obligated. You should want somebody to want to be with you because they choose to be with you. Okay? You should want somebody because they choose to be with you. And what I'm trying to tell you is when you give somebody space and opportunity to be authentically and genuinely who they are, you see how they feel about you based upon the choices that they decide to make. You see what I'm saying? When you give somebody space to live and you accept them for who they are and not what you think they should be, you start to see what they really think about you and how they really feel and how they rock with you because their choices start to change. And if their choices are not changing, then that becomes a clear indicator that you are not the anchor that you think that you are. You understand what I'm saying? that tells you that you don't have that pull that you think that you have. Okay? And then you just be sitting around here like, so when did I miss that memo? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it becomes a real issue. Okay? So it's important to know that I empathize with you, because this is, again, what makes relationships so hard. Okay? Anybody could be with you because anybody could choose to be with you because they obligated. You know, obligation, i.e. a marriage. Obligation, i.e. children. Obligation, i.e. we've been together for the last 20 years and I don't feel like starting over because that'd just be wrong, okay? Those are all obligations. But in this case, they're not obligated to want to be with you. They were choosing to be with you because they liked the way that you made them feel, but they were not willing to offer you anything of substance because they didn't want to have to be responsible for what comes with that level of commitment. And that sucks. That absolutely, positively, undeniably sucks, because the connection is here. Okay? The connection is here. The intimacy on the surface level is there, but the intimacy, the depth, the true offering is absent. And that's the piece that was missing. Remember, I said very early on in the beginning monologue, I said there's a lot of warm and fuzzies and excitements about this, but there's something that you did not know that was coming to pass. Well, this is what that is. Coming to the realization that you will never be more to them. At least that's what the energy is saying. You will never be more to them than what you are now. You will never be a girlfriend. You will never be a wife. You would just be a friend with a benefit of something to do. That's what the cards are saying right here, right now. But of course, we're going to explore further. So I will look at that to see if that's true. But this is what the current energy is coming out to be in, okay? So what is it that this earth sign should be doing right now with this fire sign? Stop losing sleep over it, I'll tell you that much. Okay, with this 9 of Swords in reverse, baby, don't be losing no sleep over this. And I think that you're actually starting to come into the awareness, this sense of clarity, right? Like I said, you've been sitting around here waiting for quite some time, waiting for this person to pick up the phone and call, waiting for them to come around and to apologize, waiting for them to come back and just say, you know what? I don't even know what they could possibly say. You know, maybe I was an idiot. Maybe I was a moron. Maybe I was being selfish. I was stupid. I was selfish. What'd she say? I was lying to myself. I mean, like, possibly they can come back and say that, but then you're going to be looking at them like,
That is so stupid.
you see what I'm saying? Because it don't even feel real. You understand what I'm saying? It don't even feel genuine no more, because they've been so insincere and unintentional about making it something material to the point to where it just don't even feel like if that came out their mouth that it even sound right. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. So this tells me that this relationship is stuck and not progressing forward because of that lack of decision here. Okay? So we definitely got some problems here. Now, I want to know more. I want to dive deeper. I want to get into the real tea. Like, what is the real deal going on here? So if y'all understand what I'm saying right now, you may be a little bit disappointed. I want you to put the sad face in the chat. If you're disappointed to hear this, I want you to put the sad face in the chat. But if this is confirmation for you and your person at this time, I want you to put a broken heart in the chat. Okay, put the broken heart in the chat if this is confirmation. Put the sad face if this is a revelation. Okay, this is something that you were not made aware of. All right, here we go. Now, as we dive deeper, I would closely examine this situation up close and reveal all of the hidden motives, the unseen layers, and those real aha moments. And I want to encourage you to make sure that you pay attention to these clarifiers because they don't play around, okay? So, now that we know what we know, what is the real motivation here? What is the real motive here? Why does this earth sign want to be with this fire sign so bad? I promise y'all, these cards are coming out. Y'all can see this right here. How this card just flipped over. So for one, earth signs, we got the Nine of Pentacles, which is your energy here. Okay. What this is telling me for you, I got cards everywhere. What this is telling me for you is that this definitely has made you feel like, okay, my dreams and aspirations are just not coming through. Like, this has really got you disappointed, and you are really taking it hard on yourself because you're like, why can't I get out of stuck? Why is it so hard and so difficult for me to be able to find somebody and settle with them and just have great chemistry, great conversation, let them be a confidant and a companion, and for us to build towards something long-term and sustainable? I understand that feeling, and I can relate wholeheartedly. This is a commonplace feeling that most adults have at this point in time because it is so difficult to get to that point. To make it past 3 dates with somebody and actually look forward to being with them is a win, right? So once you start getting that type of momentum, you like, oh, I think I like you, and you funny, and you make me smile, and you make me feel good, and you like my fupa, and you like my double chin, or whatever. You know, like, you start really looking at that. And so the fact that you're analyzing this and you're just like, I was so close, only to find out that you are a counterfeit. To find out that you a scammer, like you fooled me all this time. And the reality is they really didn't fool you. They just weren't being totally honest with themselves. Okay? So they weren't really lying to you before they was lying to themselves is what I'm saying. All right? Now, what is this fire sign going to do about this situation with this earth sign? Because we have here that they do need to come forward, and they do need to communicate, and they do need to apologize. I know that's right. Yolanda said almost doesn't count, honey. Trust me, I know. So for this earth fire sign, Spirit is telling them, stop acting like you don't know what you need to do. Again, you need to pick up the phone and you need to call and fix this. You need to straighten this out. But of course, they're trying to play dumb as long as they possibly can. And what I will tell you is, with this fire sign, they are going against their intuition. And I know that this sounds contradictory, but hear me out. Spirit has told them time and time again that they need to pay closer attention to this connection. It has been impressed upon them through their consciousness that they need to make their wrongs right. However, this fire sign is being so ignorant, okay? Which goes back to these two cards right here, right? They talk the game, but they're not willing to play the game, right? So it is a very polarizing feeling here, because it's like they will tell anybody who will listen. They will sing your praises, but they won't tell you that. Y'all ever been around somebody like that? And it's just like, what is wrong? Like they will tell anybody who will listen, yeah, you know, I love Kim. Like, that's gonna be my wife. But then when it come down to talking to Kim, it's like, man, you know, Why can't we just be friends and kick it on Fridays? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like a barrier of resistance that is here. And it goes back to that ignorance. But Spirit keep telling them, like, listen, dude, you cannot keep on out here doing what you're doing. This is 2026. There's too many things going around. You will mess around with the wrong person, F around and find out. You will be on papers and everything else. Like, you can't keep screwing over people. And for this particular person, when you came around Earth signs, you brought a wealth of sunshine to them. You brought a wealth of good luck. You brought good energy to them because you're a good person. But since you've been gone, okay, things have not been the same. Okay, things have not been the same for them. So their intuition is very much so trying to guide them to do the right thing, but they're choosing to ignore it. They're trying to act like they don't know how to have an adult conversation, which goes back to their immaturity. They're trying to act like you've done something wrong to them. Like, if you were to pick up the phone and reach out to them, they would entertain it. But they still gonna act like they just don't know what to do with this, right? I mean, it is the most ridiculous thing, if I'm being totally honest with you, because it's like, what do you have to lose by just saying, you know what? I'm sorry. But instead, they just want to play this game and act like nothing's happening. And the wildest part about this goes back to that putting on the show card. The wildest thing about this, they are still talking to their friends, the people in the community that you met them through, or whoever the people that y'all have in common. They are still talking to these people like y'all still got a good thing going on. It is weird because it's like, why are you over here bragging on me, telling everybody all these wonderful things about me, but I ain't talked to you in weeks, sir? The what now? Okay. You know, like, let's get out of here. All right. So, with that being said, Spirit, what else is going on here that this Earth sign needs to be aware of? Okay. Now listen. One monkey don't stop no show. Okay. So Earth signs, while you have kind of like guilted yourself and made yourself feel, listen, you're self-aware, okay? So it's not that you don't have any inkling, like you've sat back and done inventory, you've been reflecting, and you're just like, okay, I normally wouldn't do something like this. I normally wouldn't, you know, entertain something like this, but I have, right? So you may be possibly dealing with, trying to pick yourself back up and get yourself back in a right space with the Six of Wands. You are trying to really get back to the place where it's like, you know what? I was good before I met you. I'm gonna be good after you. I'm gonna pick myself up off the ground. I'm gonna knock the dust off my shoulders. I'm gonna get back to focusing on me. I'm gonna protect my peace. Okay. I know what's for me is gonna be for me, and I don't have to beg for what's gonna be for me. You understand what I'm saying? And you just like, you know what? It don't matter. I'm gonna be good no matter what. I know who I am. I'm the queen of Sheba, and I am the king of Zamunda, whichever way you fall. Life moves on with or without you. Okay? So I'm very proud of you, Earth signs, that while you are disappointed that it seems like you just can't get stuck out of neutral, the fact that your self-love is showing up for you right now is amazing. Because you're just like, you know what? I don't care if ain't nobody out here clapping for me. I'm rooting for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not waiting on somebody else to give you that love, that adoration and satisfaction that you possibly may have otherwise have been looking for initially. Like, you don't need those artificial, what they call them, artificial accolades. You're happy, you're vibrant, you're doing what you need to be doing. And I love that for you, because honestly, that's the best thing that you could be doing, because what's going to happen is it's going to eat this fire sign up, knowing that you ain't calling, You ain't checking for them. You ain't texting them. You not on their Instagram. You not on their Facebook. You not doing none of that. And they over here looking like, what is going on with Kim? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're doing yourself a service by not checking for them, by not chasing them down. You over here living your best life, and I love that for you. And that's going to make them very, very angry. That, well, I'm not going to, that was kind of strong. Not angry, but it makes them feel a little bit more curious about where you've been and what you've been doing, okay? 2 cards just flipped over. No, 3 cards just flipped over, but that's too many. What other motives do we need? We also got the Queen of Swords in reverse, okay? So, I keep getting random doggone chills. So it could have also been cold feet, you know, when you have a person who really has everything they want. Listen, I'm telling you, earth signs, you brought the full offerings. It was never you. It was never you. Okay, it was never you. This particular person decided to play games, be manipulative, be deceitful, be closed-minded, and not forthcoming about their true motives and intentions for this connection. It was never you. Okay, they also had, remember I said they're upset because their games, the lies, the plans that they had for this connection did not materialize. Remember I talked about that here? Well, now it's showing up here too. They never had any intentions on being able to step up and be a real one in this particular situation. And that has been frustrating to them too, but that's a motive that is being revealed to you right now, that they never intended on being in a long-term situation with you. They may have talked that stuff, but they, remember I kept saying, they talk a good game, but they not walking it.
Damn you!
And here it is, okay? This is what we're talking about. Another motive that may be coming out in this instance is the Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay? So, dang, they listen, y'all went from 9 to 10. That's crazy. Now, the question then becomes, how are both of you, either one of you in this situation, going to relieve yourself of this burden? And I'm calling it a burden because the situation didn't really end. It just went on a defect pause. It never ended. You see what I'm saying? Like, it never ended. This was simply something that just kind of like faded on its own, and it never came back because they thought that you were going to be the one to pick up the phone and call. And they still waiting because they're too immature to pick up the phone and call. Now, if they would have just explained themselves, we could have all moved on from now, whether that's together or separately. But because they've lacked the emotional wherewithal to be able to pick up the phone and just dial the number and just say, you know what, I know I messed up. Or I'm sorry, I haven't talked to you in a while. You know, like I was really processing our last conversation, or I was mentally revisiting, and I just wanted to clarify what my mental and emotional capabilities are, and blah, 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 whatever, whatever, whatever. But because they ain't doing that, you just over here looking at them like, okay, well, you just another one of them. And I can do bad all by myself. So both of you are just kind of like, I can always move around. I can always do what I'm gonna do. And that's why you earth signs have been doing whatever you're doing, and that's why this fire sign has been over here doing what they've been doing. But they are still going against their highest good. Okay, there is a spiritual connection of some sort that is here. There is an energy pulling them, because as I'm talking to you, I feel like my chest is opening up. Like there's an emotional pull. okay, between you two. And that's probably why when you guys came together, everything was kind of effortless in the beginning and just so youthful and, you know, nostalgic, and just because there was a predestined connection here that was genuine to this situation. But because y'all can't get over it, and then we have the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck in reverse, okay? So they're definitely being exposed, all right? They're definitely being exposed. Because you over here just playing games just for the sake of playing games. Nobody asked you for any of this. If you just would have been honest when we first started having these first initial conversations about what it is that you're looking for, if you could have just said, you know, right now I'm just kind of like chilling right now, I'm just, you know, loafing, whatever, it would have been all good. I probably would have been sitting there at the table like, okay. So what exactly do you want with me? Like that would have been an issue or a conversation that you guys could have addressed early on. But because they failed to really come forward and be honest, and again, they had no intentions on saying any of this. They are used to being a player. They used to having their way. They're used to being selfish and stubborn, ignorant and childish. They're used to not having to be accountable. And that's why they evade accountability, because let's just be real. Okay? They might be used to lying to people, and then you came along and they couldn't lie to you. You see what I'm saying? They couldn't lie to you. But instead of them manning up, telling the truth, they want to run. And that's what it is. So, now you got me real curious. Why they over here trying to offer you bits and pieces of their love? How does this story end? I'm ready to find out. Like, what you gonna do, Earth signs? Because it sounds like you kind of got your answers, but what you finna do? We about to find out. Here we go. So, as we start to assess the potential final outcome, I do say potential because I cannot predict free will. I can only read the energies and tell you what I see. Spirit can light up the path, but it's up to you to walk it. Okay? And this is really about you co-authoring what you want your future to be. Okay? Clarity, God has shown us in this interview, clarity, chaos, and your choice. Okay? So it's up to you to decide, what is it that you really want to do with this connection? All right. So what is the final potential outcome? What is this earth sign going to do with this fire sign? What is this earth sign going to do? Jessica said, I'm already moving on. I know that's right. Listen, baby, what I'm not going to do is sit up here. What we talked about yesterday, we said I can go, I'm in this in 26. I know we said it in 25, but we're going to extend that into 26. It's 4 places we ain't finna go. Up and down, round and round, back and forth, in and out. Okay, we're going to be very decisive about what we're doing. And the minute that somebody is putting us through these hoops and loops and rip-de-doops and roundabouts and all that other stuff, pump your brakes. All right? So, what is the potential final outcome for this particular situation? Potential final outcome. Y'all, 3 cards just fell out. Okay? First card we got here is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay? There is going to be a conversation had, okay? Well, they're going to be forthcoming and open and honest. They are not going to hold anything back. So they are going to finally man up to pick up the phone to call you or text you. Preferably they call you, okay? Preferably they call you. I don't like when people want to start having complicated conversations in a dang on text message. Now that to me is just really immature and just, you're being a form of senile, right? Because you can't really pick up on texture, rate, pitch, and clues to better internalize and understand what the conversation really is at hand. But I feel like with this card, once they start pouring out their heart and still start coming forth with you and starting to have these particular conversations with honesty and in the spirit of transparency, okay, I do think that is going to unblock this path with you and this person, okay? And the reason why I say that is because here that card is followed by the 10 of Pentacles, okay? So I do feel like once you can get past this path, everything will be everything. You guys will jump back into your cycle of excitement, you know, things starting to become, going back into that la la land, going back into that land of delusion, because now you have set realistic expectations, but only you can say what you're willing to tolerate or not. If you are really steadfast on commitment, my answer to you is don't falter and don't compromise your commitment. Because why stay in something with somebody that's never going to give you what it is that you're really truly looking for? You understand? You're selling yourself short. We already know this person talking about, I give you a piece of my love. It's waiting for you. I bet it is waiting for you, waiting for me, because I ain't seen you in a long time. And it's going to come in hot and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza. Doesn't mean I'm going to give you what you want from me. You see what I'm saying? You can offer me whatever you want to offer. Don't mean I got to take it. But with this 2 of Cups here, I definitely think that you guys are going to reconcile and make a decision to make a conscientious effort to be able to move forward in the long run. Now, I know that ain't what you wanted to hear, but it's true. And then you got the Knight of Pentacles over here, okay? So this is going to be a long-term thing. Once you guys decide to move forward, this is going to be a long-term investment. They are not going to falter. You know, it may take them a long time to get to the commitment part. I might be honest with you, but only you can decide what that looks like for you. Now, I'm about to pull some other cards to find out. Yolanda say, no way, sis. I'm telling you, that's what the card said. Maybe distance made the heart grow fonder. But remember, the communicate card came out here. And it says, compromise, forgive, and work it out. And that is supported with these cards that we have here. Okay? Now, let's see. Angels, what messages do you have for this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn dealing with a Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What messages do you have? Listen, I'm all for people. I'm so serious. Independent of this conversation, I am for people who come to their senses and realize that having good connections and good chemistry with people is hard to come by. So if you can find somebody that you can connect with, that y'all can communicate, that you guys have great chemistry, that the conversations are where they need to be, and this person is consistent, give that person grace to grow into who they can potentially become. But if you are unwilling to give that investment into them, because again, nobody is perfect, then you're going to always be chasing perfection, which doesn't exist, and you can miss out on a good thing because you're not willing to give people space and opportunity to be who they are and allow them to choose to change how they operate because they choose to be with you. You understand what I'm saying? If that makes sense, somebody put the 100 down in the chat. All right, angels, what messages do you have for this earth sign dealing with this fire sign? Oh, you know what Spirit just reminded me of, y'all? Remember I said beginning with faith in spring? Right now it's January. Come spring, come March, late March, early April, y'all might be back on the right track, okay? Remember I told y'all that earlier that something was happening in the spring? Y'all may reconcile by the spring. Now, the card that came out for angels, past life relationship. Y'all, I told y'all that this was a connection that y'all just, it felt very youthful and it just came together. I don't know if y'all remember me saying that, but I said not too long ago that the way that y'all just came together, it may have had like a spiritual connection or arrangement. Well, here it is. You guys have known each other before in a past life. I can't make it up. It's here, folks. I can't make it up. It's there. So this is a past life connection. which is why the intimacy, even though it was surface, was popping. Girl, when I tell you this was fireworks.
Ooh, butterfly in my stomach and vagina.
I'm just telling you what it is. All right, Romeo and Juliet. What words of advice do you have for this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn dealing with this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? This person that I'm talking about too, this fire sign, may also play sports. Like they still play basketball or something. Okay. This card just came flying out. Reject. Firm rejection. Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Okay. So you likely may not accept what they're telling you. Okay. You may have rejected this, and you have every right to say, I'm unwilling to settle for what it is that you're offering. But this card does says, not proud that you have. Well, don't say that. It says, not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Okay? Not proud that you have, but thankful that you have. So now let's dig deeper. Okay? Spirit, what are some thoughts that this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius may have towards this Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn? I keep recalling our separation over and over again. So they are really thinking about it. Okay, and I did talk about that a little bit early on, that they are kind of like stuck trying to process, like, why you not calling them? Why you not checking for them? They keep recalling the conversation over and over again. What else? They don't feel good about it. I'll tell you that at all. And that could also be why my press on just flew off. That could also be why we have here the 9 of Cups. Okay. Also not feeling good. I think I mentioned that earlier too. Like them feeling a little bit salty that you ain't chasing after them. They also said, I trust you unconditionally. Okay. And then they also said, lastly, being around you is like a breath of fresh air. So there is a comfort here, y'all. There is a comfort here. Okay. Being around you is like a breath of fresh air. So they feel really good about this connection. Okay, they feel really good. Even though their behavior is not showing it, they feel good about it. Here we go. What thoughts does this earth sign have towards this fire sign? What thoughts does this earth sign have towards this fire sign? I am so intrigued. Please unblock me. Yeah, that's me calling you from an unknown number. Listen, y'all, don't be playing these games. Okay, I told y'all, don't go calling this person, and I meant it. You know what I mean? But knowing y'all, let me tell you something. One thing about an earth sign, y'all get in y'all little ways where y'all want to be little detectives. So you have probably blocked, called this person from an unknown number, just trying to see if they changed their number, blocked, and all that stuff like that. What other thoughts does this earth sign have towards this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Karmic partner interference. Okay, so earth signs, here y'all go. Get out of your head. Okay, you over here thinking that this person unblocked you, thinking that they got some third party interfering with this connection and all this other nonsense. Like, stop, get out your head. This man gonna call you. Okay, they gonna call you, and they gonna call you eventually. What else? I'm only staying here for my kids, nothing else. I'm making my way out. There may be some type of obligations here. Remember we talked earlier about obligations and choices? So there may be some type of obligations here. So Earth signs, are you blaming like some third party person on the distance? Stop that if you are, because that ain't it at all. It is all them. It is all them. They're making conscientious choices and decisions. So I hope that with this reading, y'all, okay, with us confirming they do like you, they will come around. You guys will reconcile. Just give them space and opportunity to do what they gonna do. And it's gonna be all to the good. All right? Now, how y'all feeling about this? Because I know that could be a little bit like, huh? Like what? But I promise you, it's going to work out and it's going to be fine, okay? Because what God got for you, we got for you. And nobody could come in, nobody could interrupt, nobody could do none of those things, all right? So we're going to be easy. We just going to let this ride out and we're just going to choose to focus on ourselves in the meantime. All right? So I want to thank you guys so much for rocking with me for the last hour and a half or so. Thank you so much for tuning into today's relationship reality. I am your girl, Mimi Lightseer, and this is PiSeas Tarot. If something hit deep, drop a heart in the chat. Let me know what resonated with you. Leave it in the comments. Before we go, make sure you like and hit subscribe and join my growing community here on YouTube. Everyone, okay? Listen, y'all. Listen. Everyone is fighting a battle that you cannot see. So go ahead and be kind, patient, and gentle with others as much as you are yourself. How people treat you is not your problem, nor your responsibility or your business. But how you respond is. So make sure you leave a little bit of love, and I'll see you next time.